If I read about what's happening now in college or high school history books, it would have been unbelievable. Not just in American history, but in world history. We're about to show you 3 different clips where on CNN and MSNBC, they call for violence in the streets to overthrow the president, and they call for the death of the president, and they say the FBI is going to have revenge on the president. I mean, this is beyond any third world country I've ever seen. And then I got another clip where they had a congressman on Friday night saying Tucker Carlson is a Russian agent, and so is Chairman Nunes of the House Select Intelligence Committee. These people are out of control. And then you look at who they are before I play these clips. Phil Mudd, and you can't make this up. He's from Virginia. It appears he did have a 6 grandfathers back was Dr. Mudd that helped John Wilkes Booth kill the president at Ford Theater. He was convicted of it. It's where your name is Mudd. This guy's the former head of counterterrorism of the CIA. And then 10 years ago, right before Comey came in, Mueller hired him to come in and basically run the FBI. So Mueller's aide, his main aide, his admitted protege, is on television saying the government's going to kill Trump. That was a few months ago. The new quote is, we're going to take revenge. We're winning. He's going down. Admitting total partisanship, just flagrantly. They're outing themselves. And then this last night on MSNBC, that they have 3 hosts in there saying that everybody's already been convicted as Russians, which isn't true. Nobody has. And Trump's a Russian spy, and the Russians are winning. We've got to get violent in the streets. Well, you're going to see all these clips. Yeah, the Russians just massed troops on the Russian border. No, that's the U.S. The Russians just sent heavy arms to the Ukrainians. No, that's Trump. Trump just did all these sanctions on the Russians. Trump just got the stock market up and 2 million plus new jobs and securing our border. That's not the damn Russians. That's make America great again. That's America coming back and taking over, because we've been run by multinational corporations. We're in a war for the country. This isn't some war they rope us into with Gulf of Tonkin, 1964 Vietnam. This isn't some deal with the left's funding the Soviet Union. At the same time, we have a Cold War with them. This is a real war, in their own words, against the bitter clingers, against flyover country, against conservatives. 2 days before Mudd said this on MSNBC, they had NBC spokespersons on saying Trump's wrong to talk about family and church. That's bygone era. These are quotes. You don't get that anymore. That's like something out of the craziest cult I ever heard of. That's all coming up. It's on Infowars.com. It's going totally viral, the article about it. CNN analyst threatens Trump, says FBI will get revenge. But he's really an aide to Mueller. He's been his chief aide for when he was in the FBI, formerly CIA. This isn't like it's just some average homeless person saying he's going to kill the president. This is the guy that used to run those type of operations, and they're doing it in plain view. As I said last week before this latest statement, I said to have the stay-behind networks, the Clinton crime networks in the FBI and the CIA and all these organizations, the organizations themselves aren't bad. It's the bad groups in it. The media makes it like we're attacking the FBI and saying they're all criminals, whatever. We all know that's not true. The media makes it about discrediting the FBI. It's the criminal networks inside that protected the Clintons with all the crazy stuff they did with the Russians, the Chinese, the missile secrets, the sellouts. America was at its deathbed, at death's doorstep. Trump came back with patriots in our government, actually, because that's what happened. Folks know I'm not a big fan of the CIA and FBI and all these groups, but it was actually the FBI, the Secret Service, the CIA that helped us know the truth about WikiLeaks and Hillary having convulsions. And so that's why we've got to explain these are diverse people, just like any other group or organization. And so I said over and over again in the last few weeks, you've heard me, that Mudd and others are saying we're going to kill the president to make the stay-behind networks that are scared inside the government that are still obstructing the president and the agenda and the Constitution to feel strong. You know, Phil Mudd, our former boss, and Mueller's attaché, Mueller's protege, Mueller's aide de camp, Mueller's vice president, that he thinks he is president, is saying we're going to kill the president, he'll be gone soon, we can hold on. Just like Brennan and just like Clapper said back in November as well, he'll be gone by late December on CNN's coverage of the Aspen Institute with Wolf Blitzer. And Blitzer said, you mean impeachment? And he goes, no, he'll be gone by December. Didn't happen. But see, they have to go on TV, not through bravado or hubris, even megalomania, but through desperation to save themselves, because they committed such incredible crimes with the illegal surveillance, the illegal dossier they cooked up, all of it. So as that comes falling down, as they're so scared of the secret Nunes memo that's now public, and Nunes, as we told you first, it's a blueprint for all the other evidence to come out. Trump's cover letter, when they released the memo Friday, said, I'm going to authorize a bunch of other releases, including threats on the president. Well, we don't need that inside these documents. We have Mudd saying it on TV, but we have the leaks coming, and they've already foreshadowed, Jim Jordan and others, what's going to come out next. And that is McCabe, as deputy director, running the conspiracy, we know from the text messages, saying in new text messages that are set to come out in the next few weeks, quote, you fuck Flynn, you fuck Trump. In a whole boardroom of more than 30 Justice Department and FBI senior people, and quite a few weren't even really Trump supporters, but they're not into hardcore Hitler level type stuff. I mean, this is, so here's McCabe trying to act confident in a board meeting, going, we're going to fuck Flynn, then we're going to fuck the president, we're going to remove his ass. And then we're going to federalize elections, the executive order's in place. This is when he's president-elect. This is back in December of 2016. Trump just got in. He wasn't in office yet. And so he had to act confident, and they laid out the plan. Now, how did I know the plan? I could read that in Atlantic Monthly a month later, we're going to have COG, we're going to remove Trump, we're going to declare the 2016 election null and void. All congressional seats that are Republican are in question. We're going to have a new election run by Homeland Security. And then that's why Michael Moore said, oh, we're going to have a new election and Hillary will be installed. I mean, I'll give it to these folks. They don't give up. So I know the CIA and FBI know all this at the highest levels, but this is an intelligence briefing to the patriots in the state police, the local police, the feds, the legislatures, private citizens, you name it, the Defense Department, the Army, the Marine Corps, the Navy, all the groups that have been fighting the deep state, because that's really what has happened. You see, the left would demonize our institutions because they wanted to undermine them and overthrow them. I kind of halfway bought into that 15, 20 years ago. But then as I got more sophisticated and actually read more of their documents, it was right there. They were discrediting our good institutions because they were good, while they had them do bad things so they could then have their whole strong cities initiative and overthrow the police, everything. I mean, my God, it's classic communist tactics, but it's not communist. It's mega rich using those tactics because they work to take control because they're offshore and exempt. So let me get to these videos, but these are so important because it's all come out. The economy's coming back. It's America first. God, Trump's like anti-Russia. I think he's gone way too far. I think it's one of his big problems. I'm not a Russian agent, just the Russians have only helped us after 9/11, helped us deal with ISIS. It's just wrong what's happening. That said, though, he is our president, and that's why these special interests are pissed, because we've got a president who's trying to act like the president. It's not about bribes and kickbacks and sellouts, selling the country out, what's left of it, to China and all these other countries. It's about bringing the nation back. And you watch with a real chief executive in just 12 and a half months, everything's turned around to the best numbers in 100 years because we were artificially being bled off by these vampires. And they wrote textbooks admitting it. Cloward and Piven. So they've intimidated everybody like Glenn Beck to get in line with the shitholers. I'm going to play a clip where he actually says, I'm a proud shitholer. Phil Mudd is key, though, because he's the spokesman. Now that McCain's about to die of the brain tumor and nobody buys into Schumer saying the intelligence agencies have 7 ways of Sunday to get back at you, as this whole thing collapses, you see Mudd rolled out with the talking point of, we're winning, we're invincible, Trump's going down, kind of like Baghdad Bob in 2003. There are bombs, 2,000-pound bombs being dropped a mile behind him. You can hear explosions and see smoke. He's going, the Americans have been pushed back 400 miles into Kuwait. We annihilated them with secret weapons. And then a jet flies over. He's like, oh! And he's like, hey, and we defeated the Yankees. Oh! And then Do people remember Baghdad Bob? Well, here's Phil Mudd. I'm a proud shitholer. Government's going to kill this guy, and we're winning, and we're doing just great. It's amazing. Just on Friday, I said over and over again, Phil Mudd is saying to his deep state people, we're winning, we're winning, we're winning. Stay at your command bases, stay at your post, as they've been collapsed. But hey, they could grab victory from the jaws of defeat, though. I mean, they're openly saying they're going to kill the president. So I'm going to go to some of these videos right now. Get this live link out. There's a full page article in the Wall Street Journal saying Google's announced they're banning Russian bots and Alex Jones. And then headlines, Jones, hold on to your tinfoil hat. YouTube's coming for you. If they can get me, they can get everybody. They've already blocked it. Project Veritas has the video, so do others. Lawsuits have been filed, not by myself, by Google executives who thought it was wrong, where they said, our number one enemy is Alex Jones. Anyone like him? Nationalists, patriots, America firsters, free marketers. You ban him. Number one, ban Jones. But we don't want to make him a martyr. We don't let him share any of his videos or articles. We block it in echo chambers and don't let it spread because he's too effective. Well, too effective? I'm not fake news. I lay out what they're doing, what they're up to. You see it coming true. I study military tactics. I study geopolitical operations and all this stuff to counter them with the truth. And everything I just said to you, you're about to see. And that's why they're pissed. I'm going to show you Gruber saying, F Americans, they're dumb. We're going to triple their health care prices. God, thank God they're so dumb. I was hired to lie to them by Obama. It's because we show you what they've done. They're so pissed. So here is Mudd saying if he fires Rosenstein, who we know at the Justice Department ran the conspiracy with McCabe, that's all in the text messages, that well, Trump's losing and, it's over for him and blah, blah, blah. Stay at your post. He says the FBI will get revenge. So they're on TV for over a year saying we're going to get revenge. We're going to F you over. Morning Joe. We're going to put you and your family in prison. And then this is supposedly unbiased investigators who covered up for the Clintons. And Phil Mudd was brought in by the Clinton crime network, by their stay-behind networks, by their bold criminal activity. But guess what? She got her back broken, and so are the globalists. Let's go ahead and roll this first video.
The president's talking about basically corruption at the FBI today, but we oppose the leadership. The workforce is going to look at this and say, this is an attack on our ability to conduct an investigation with integrity. There's hundreds of agents and analysts working on this investigation. It's not just Christopher Wray, the FBI director. So the FBI people, I'm going to tell you, are ticked. And they're going to be saying, I guarantee it, you think you can push us off this because you can try to intimidate the director? You better think again, Mr. President. You've been around for 13 months. We've been around since 1908. I know how this game is going to be played. We're going to win.
Well, guess what, you asshole? We've been around since 1776 and before. And we understand tyrants like King George III or Adolf Hitler when we see it. So we're going to go on to the end, whatever the cost may be, even if you're able to kill our president. Notice Mudd hadn't threatened to sue me about that because the son of a bitch is up there promoting it. Now, let's be clear. This is desperation, a guy on a sinking ship. Years ago, when we were behind, I told you we were behind. I don't sit here and do Oprah Winfrey secret stuff and imaginary magic crap, hocus pocus like these guys do. Okay? I'm about credibility, accurate information, year after year, tomorrow's news today. But you notice he said, we're winning. And he goes, the whole poor FBI, they've all been attacked. Again, I'm told like 70% of the FBI hates the Clintons, the whole crime network. They know that's what's discrediting. They hated the fact that Loretta Lynch had secret meetings with Clinton and all the crimes and the email servers and Uranium One and the Chinese money and the Chinese generals and the missile secrets and reactors in North Korea and on and on and on and on. Whitewater, on and on, Vince Foster, on and on, the death list, on and on. Lolita Express, the pedophile airplanes, looting Haiti. But again, they say, we are the FBI. We are the establishment. We are who you can trust. Just like they police, like, don't link to InfoWars. Don't have him on. They had Congressman Gates on CNN, and Tapper's like, how dare you go on that show? How dare you? We're the gatekeepers. We tell you who you talk to. We tell you what you do. It's the bravado of these guys, but it's not bravado anymore. It was before. They just know how to act like they're full of hubris because they used to have it. It's desperation. So there's that clip. It's on InfoWars.com. Here's another one. MSNBC host calls for revolution against Trump amid FISA memo. And this is this Donny Deutsch guy that was given his company in the 80s by his dad that died, a total nobody, all like 4 or 5 failed shows on CNN, MSNBC, lowest ratings ever. And he's up there going, they've already 2 of them been convicted. Nobody's been convicted. Nobody's been charged with Russian collusion. A couple people with obstruction because they might have said something wrong because they were being recorded illegally, and then they matched up thousands of hours of recordings. So that was a little bit off. We're going to have a swamp jury out of the D.C. swamp indict you. So what a joke there. And then he goes on, he's like, this guy's starting to win. We got to stop him, man. It's a Russian agent. He gets all the orders from Putin. It's all completely proven. The economy's coming back. We're taking care of the veterans. The borders are getting secured. I mean, this guy's really bad. And they're all, oh, yeah, keep telling us. Oh. And again, I love our Yankee president, Trump. I'm not bashing folks with these New York accents. The point is, this guy's from Queens. He knew Trump. Trump put him on The Apprentice. Trump has been nothing but nice. I looked it up today for like 20 minutes, looked up the history. Totally nice to Donny Deutsch. And then Donny Deutsch, this loser, wants to crawl in here and act like, he's this good guy now for talking about calling Mr. America First that's delivered a Russian agent, and now it's Tucker Carlson, you're a Russian agent. Alex Jones, you're a Russian agent. Matt Drudge, you're a Russian agent. Lou Dobbs, you're a Russian agent. Rand Paul, Senator Paul, you're a Russian agent. And on Friday, videos at Infowars.com, Carlson got so mad, he said, I have to cut it off. He was getting red. And I used to think Stone was wrong for getting mad, getting called a Russian agent. It's like, dude, it's ridiculous, don't get mad. Until they did it to me, because it's how they smile at you knowing it's horse shit. It's how they smile at you when they do it, and they're the people that sold us out to globalists. They're the ones that have been holding America down. It's not just that they're accusing you of being a traitor to your family and your country, because they think we're schmucks because we actually care about the country. They say, Trump's crazy, he only cares about America first, and he's not a really smart globalist, and he is doing what he really says. They'll admit that and say he's dumb because he really does what he says, but separately he's a Russian agent. And they're looking at you, calling you something they are. They'll sell out to anybody. I mean, over 100 countries paid into Hillary's foundation. Billions and billions of dollars. Totally illegal. But she had Mueller and Comey and McCabe and all these criminals like Rosenstein in there protecting the whole thing the whole time. And then they dredge up some piece of crap traitor who wants to piss all over the country to call for violence in the streets and overthrow and panic. Do we do that with 8 years of Obama, shitting all over the country and everything else, and bringing in the Islamics and funding the Arab Spring? No. We just went out and informed people. But they sit there and say, we want violence, and then they're claiming Trump's this evil guy and this bad person. I know Trump doesn't want to fire all these criminals and go after him because it looks like he's guilty then, but he has a duty. The Justice Department has a duty. I saw a video today, made my blood boil, of Attorney General Sessions with Rosenstein at an event hours after the Friday memo release, when Rosenstein's quarterbacking the whole fraud with McCabe, going, he's a wonderful guy, he's the best guy we've got. Jesus. I mean, it's just amazing. So let's go to this sickening video of this guy going, you're not bringing back America. Trump's starting to win. We got to stop him. Because these are all the special interests that the Saudi Arabian bribes have been cut off, the Chinese bribes, Trump's executive order, all the money's drying up. And that's why Schumer and Pelosi and Maxine Waters look like they're being boiled alive, man. Because they had America by the throat. It was mounted on the wall for their little egos to feel, which they pump up to be ginormous, to feel big. They had this country. They thought they bullied us. They didn't get we were asleep. We were asleep like Odin. And then once we woke up, they went, oh, you're not scared anymore. It's like, no, you woke us. Because the Republic only awakens at the most dire moment. And that's what they're now finding out. But know this, they are terrorists. They are committed criminals. They're the ones paid off by foreign governments. That's what globalism is. And that's why they're so scared, saying we are what they are. We are the Americans. We are the patriots. For every race, color, and creed, we're restoring the Republic. We're restoring fair deals that are two-way streets. And they're pissed, calling us the restorationists, calling us the cavalry, calling you the dupes of the Russians. I'm a Russian agent, they say, but you are a dupe. You are a dupe because you voted for something that turned the country around. And they want you to ignore your own senses and believe Gruber when he says, thank God they're so stupid and have no memory. I was hired to triple their rates and they love it. Well, you know what? Gruber and Deutsch and Mudd and Michael Moore and Hillary, we're awake. So fuck you. You understand that, you traitorous pieces of shit? We're aware of you and all your censorship. We knew you were about to come into office and shut us all down. But you know what? America came back. And so now you're behind. And you'll never win because real men and women who aren't sellout pieces of crap are awake now, you little cowards. You understand that? We've been fighting in the dark with no help. Now we're taking the country back. You think we're scared? We're only scared of defeat. I'm scared of one thing. My grandchildren living under pieces of shit like you. And it's not going to happen. Or goddamn me to hell. Now let's go to this traitor calling for violence in the streets to kill the American recovery.
There too. Donnie, go.
My leg is shaking.
I know. Go. Let it all out.
Here's what's going on here. I don't want to talk about a memo. We've got a dozen instances of clearly the Russians colluding in this election with top Trump officials. 2 have already been convicted. We have a guy, a president, who clearly is owned by Putin. We have an investigation going. Okay, that's good news. We basically now have a press release that's been put out, that's been twisted and mangled, that now will give this president permission to fire Rosenstein, who will now take over this investigation. Our democracy is under siege. People need to start taking to the streets. This is
you!
A dictator. This is not something to analyze
Hit
anymore.
pause.
Yeah.
This is not so. Oh, a good day for Trump.
Yeah.
This is.
Again, the lies are incredible. He's a dictator? No, he was elected. You each stole the nomination from Sanders. You guys did that. He's not a dictator. And he's not a tyrant. You people are tyrants. Hillary Clinton's a tyrant. Can we back that up 15 seconds? Sure. I'll keep ranting while you back it up. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, got a skeleton crew here. I had to come up here on Saturday night. Appreciate my wife and children letting me do this. But I just can't sit here while people are on TV everywhere saying we're going to kill the president, we're going to overthrow everything. I'm going to get those clips in a minute. We're winning. No, you're losing. And let me tell you something. I've not really cussed a lot in 20-something years on air. And this right now isn't going out of our feeds for TV and radio. I don't do that there. But I'm telling you where I really feel like, and I'm kind of exclamation pointing this by getting down to brass tacks. So let's go back to the clip. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Infowars.com, Newswars.com. Nothing can stop you telling the truth. Let's go back.
Our democracy is under siege. People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator. This is not something to analyze anymore.
Yeah.
This is not so. Oh, a good day for Trump.
Yeah.
This is frightening stuff. If you are an American, if you're somebody who's 80 years old and sitting at home and you've watched the greatness of this country, you should be.
Notice. We'll go back to it in a moment. Not back to me. It's okay. Notice. He starts saying he's winning. He's winning. But notice, as Trump wins, we win. See? He gets it. Why would you want to be the turnaround guy for America? This is so out. This is literally 10,000 times worse than Benedict Arnold or Judas Iscariot. I mean, Judas Iscariot committed suicide. He felt so guilty about it. This guy is such a disgraceful God. He's calling for violence in the streets because there's an American recovery, and he had his foot on our neck. He was part of the cult. Like bitter clingers, like Obama called us, that want to piss on us. Go back to him.
Terrified, and if you're a 12-year-old and the future is in front of you, this is terrifying. This is not time to analyze and pundit. People, we need a revolution at this point. And I'm not doing TV here, and I'm not going, ooh, crazy Donny.
Well,
this is what's going on.
You know what is interesting? I mean, I talked to a person,
Pause again.
former top.
This isn't TV. This isn't woohoo. Yeah, it is TV. You're an MSNBC host for over a decade and on CNN. This is TV. This is a talking point put out by all of you. And she goes, I talked to a former intelligence chief. Yeah, what, Brennan, that works for the Saudi Arabians and got caught doing all this criminal stuff? Or maybe it was the head of national intelligence formerly, Clapper, that testified to Congress that no Americans were spied on and said Trump was crazy to say he was spied on. Remember all those headlines that these same liars told you? Even though they had admitted before they were illegally doing it? They want to keep raping you because they're little nobodies. And because we're not like that, we're blind to them. And I'm sick of these sacks of crap. Go back to her. God almighty, these people make me sick. Get them off our backs.
Intelligence official for this country under Democratic and Republican presidents who is just as mad as you are. I mean, you and this former, and he said, where's the DNI? I mean, where did the head of the CIA come down on this? Where did the DNI come down on this? Where did the president's where did any of you stand on the release of classified information to be used to smear the FBI?
It doesn't smear the FBI. It exposes the Clinton crime network in there. And the director of national intelligence over the 17 agencies that you lied and said all unanimously said Russians stole the election. Turned out none of them did. That was another hoax. They unanimously released this and said it did violate national security. That's in the frickin' letter and it's public. Everything she says is a lie because she thinks she owns you and your family like Gruber. Obama's head of Obamacare said, thank God you're so stupid. That's a close quote. Thank God you have no memory. Thank God. You know what? I'm not stupid, you witch. Everything you say is a damn lie. Look at her. She's all about how she's a big person because she's not. She's a traitor to the communist Chinese that have their was even in the Washington Post. They run every major university that's state funded now. I mean, these traitors will be dealt with. Go back to them. God,
where is the Republican leadership? You know, John McCain,
they're gone. They are so far gone. Paul Ryan left this investigation in the hands of Devin Nunes, an out-of-the-closet Trump stooge.
I want to know what the people of this country are going to do if Rod Rosenstein is fired.
Again, all they want to do is embarrass anybody that's winning and taking the country back. Like they've got the authority. Like, oh, he's an out-of-the-closet stooge. Oh my God. Jack Posobiec's in naval intelligence, so he has to lose his security clearance because the president likes him. You know, the president can't like you, and you can't be in naval intelligence. It's just all of them up there acting like same network the day before, 2 days before said families are bad. You just can't have families. Said period. That's a bygone era. You can't have them. That's who these people are. Let's finish up.
We can't take this sitting down. Trump is winning. He's winning, kids. This crazy, wacky guy is winning. And a year into this, he is already.
That's critical. Back that up if you can, please. You're awesome. Think about that. Trump's winning. And what else is winning? Double the amount of appointments for veterans. 70% reduction in illegals coming across the border. 2.2 million new jobs, many of them high paying. Thousands of new companies, including Apple, coming back. Highest stock market ever recorded. Highest small business startups ever recorded. Optimism off the charts because we were artificially being demoralized and taken over into a one world government under the TPP, and the president killed it. And he's like, the president's winning. Oh, God almighty. I'm worth $400 million. I'm Donny Deutsch, little sellout here. And these damn people, the average family got $13,000 in this tax cut. All these jobs are coming back, all these big bonuses. We got to keep our finger on these Americans. I mean, that's what it is in the WikiLeaks. Hillary talks about it. She goes, we got to keep them in the dark, poor. Oh, God almighty. And here he is, Trump's winning, Jesus. We sold the country out and they're finding out it's turning around quick. We're all going to prison if this keeps coming out. Jesus, Jesus, Mueller, kill him, Mueller.
You can't take this sitting down. Trump is winning. He's winning, kids. This crazy, wacky guy is winning. And a year into this, he is already, not chipped, has cut away at the things that protect us. Half of this country thinks the media totally lies.
Again.
At this point, 44% of this country...
44%. The media is what protects us with its 7% approval rating. And he's chipping away. He's got a border back and he's rebuilding our military. I mean... We were selling the country out to globalism. It was almost gone. Everything he says is upside down. He's protecting himself. I mean, he's not hurting it enough. Oh, what do I do? See, he's sitting there saying he's not protecting it because he is. I mean, these people are incredible. Just thank God every day you're not a sack of evil like these people.
Country doesn't trust the FBI. And guess what? A year from now, if this doesn't change, maybe this table's in trouble. We keep talking like this. I'm not being dramatic. No. This is what's happening, kids. I mean, and this guy's winning. This wacky, orange, poofy-haired guy is winning this game, and we cannot depend on the Congress anymore. And if Rosenstein is fired, there needs to be people in the streets because that is the... We're getting in scared territory, kids.
Yeah. Last word, Jen.
Yeah, no, I think that, I think that you will. I think you will see that. I think, and what's going to have to happen is Democrats are going to have to take over the House because the Republicans are not going to do it. Yep. I thought once the tax cut bill was done, maybe Paul Ryan would be willing to throw Trump under the bus, but they just continue to collude with them.
Fantastic.
They just continue to collude to bring the country back. Now let's go to the next video. This is Mud. Months ago saying the government's going to kill this guy. The former head of counterterrorism for the CIA and all 9/11 and all that corrupt stuff. Then he's brought over by Mueller at the FBI to corrupt it. And this is what he's saying. This is Mueller's attaché, his aide de camp, his Robin, his his creature, his minion, his groom of the stool, telling you what's really going on with Mueller.
Very important country, not only for geopolitical reasons, but because they meddled in our election and there's investigations going on. I can't accept that as an excuse, and I think other people should press him for a better answer.
What was your response, Phil Mudd?
A couple surprises. Let me give you one bottom line. As a former government official, government's going to kill this guy. He defends Vladimir Putin. Their State Department and CIA officers are coming home. And at Langley and at Foggy Bottom, CIA and State, they're saying, this is how you defend us?
So, another lie from a deep state Clinton operative. Oh, the CIA, they're coming back and they're going to kill him. By this Clinton hemorrhoid that has been inserted into America's gut. And he doesn't want to go away, and he's hanging on like a diseased tick. So we told you they were spying on the president illegally. It all came out because we have the documents. We told you everything, and it's all there in your face. And these crooks are scared. They have no ratings. They have almost no support, but a few zombies out in the street. But it doesn't matter. You've got to be critically involved because false flags is what they love to pull to make themselves victims. They've had some of their other operatives on TV saying, if you release the memo, there's going to be a massacre. They've already tried to kill a bunch of Republicans. They've done a bunch of this stuff. And so they're all, though, Mudd and all of them are pencil pushers. I looked at all their records. Only Mueller was in Vietnam a few tours. So the whole point is they're a bunch of pencil pushers that order people to go kill people and do stuff. And it's mainly a bunch of, weird feminists that think if they can destroy America and mount its head on the wall for the Chinese, maybe they could, have a one-child policy too and, maybe get their organs sold off or something. I don't know why feminists love radical Islamists or the Communist Chinese, but they do. It's an existential pissing contest that if they can mount America's head on the wall, they'll be big girls because they were brought up in college. Hate America, hate free market, hate your father, hate Christ, hate God. I mean, you see the MSNBC host, CNN, saying, again, this week, you can pull it up, they said, do not say church, do not say family, that is bad. And she said, it's bygone and you don't get it anymore. You're under our control. You're alone now. You don't get prosperity. We give you welfare. We run your frickin' life. There isn't more hardcore, sickening, evil people that want to put us all on a big plantation/reservation. We're all on a big reservation, and Trump's trying to change that with classic prosperity, classic Americana. I'll be back tomorrow, Lord willing, 4 to 6 p.m. with a Sunday transmission, and back Monday, 11 a.m. Central. And you got the War Room with Owen Schroyer and David Knight, the real news, all of it, Infowars.com/show, Infowars.com. But whatever you do, take these live feeds and archive them, put them on your own channel, re-upload them, just get them out. It's all copyright free. Name it, Phil Mudd, the champion, or Phil Mudd promises to stand against Trump, the tyrant. And then your channel will get 5 million views when they block this. Our puppies and kittens, or Hillary's a wonderful lady. And then the AI sees it and lets it go through. I mean, they admit the total censorship now. I mean, it's just lawless crooks, ladies and gentlemen, who think they can dominate us and are now panicked. That's the one big thing Trump's done, I meant to say. We've all done this together. We have forced them to show their true nature. We have forced them to uncloak. We have forced them to come out in the open, and I salute you all. And yeah, I'm a wacky guy. So's Trump. The truth is wacky. The truth is real. The truth is strong when the truth delivers. Infowars.com/show on YouTube and Facebook and other platforms. Take this feed as soon as it's not live, share it everywhere, and let Phil Mudd and the rest of them know that the American people are awake to what they've done. And even they might be able to kill the president. They might be able to, like the documents have come out that Soros wants to cause race war and all this. I hope that doesn't happen. But the bigger they double down, the more they ensure that there'll be kinetic responses to their attacks. And that's the bottom line. We're trying to fix things peacefully. They're losing. They want to get violent. And, that's why we got to really work to keep things peaceful. But, move over, little dog, because the fat dog's moving in. Infowars.com/show. Spread the video.